is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
It is Thursday, October 10th, 2024. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is news to 6 a.m. on News Power Digital. Education Minister Dr. Leanne Gaspidali says there's a bullying culture in Trinidad and Tobago, as she again issued condolences to the family of 15-year-old Jaden Lalchan, who died by suicide after alleged bullying for years. She reiterated yesterday that bullying was listed as an infraction in the school's discipline matrix, stating that a young life was tragically lost in this country. The minister noted the allegations of bullying involved and said there were also procedures to guide principals on this matter. During sitting in Parliament during the budget debate, Gaspidali said the incident has shown that TNT has a bullying culture, and the issue has been prevalent since the inception of schools and society. She also said they've started to understand that it affects not only just children, recording 2 previous suicides in TNT in recent weeks, as well as suicides among students in previous years. She called it a national problem and said people have to think about how they can be kinder to one another. And as the discussion about student indiscipline continues, word that police are investigating reports that 9 gangs are operating within the Pleasantville Secondary School, with 2 newly formed gangs, Camo and Guava, causing increased concern at the school. A parent who requested anonymity said her son and his friend, who in Form 1, were attacked in their classroom last Wednesday when they refused to join the Camo gang. The parent said the Camo students have threatened to beat them up after school. She's very frightened for her son because they live close by and every day he walks home from school alone. She noted last week, Friday, a fight broke out between the gangs and students started pelting stones at each other, damaging a passing car. On Thursday, 2 parents whose children were threatened met with the school principal, and there was no mention of what would come about this gang rivalry at the school. Meanwhile, Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of South and Central Division, Wayne Meister, said he will be meeting with concerned parents on Saturday via a Zoom meeting, following which he will visit the school on Monday to address the students on gangs. 17 students were expelled from the school system in 2022 and 2023. In 21 to 22, 3 pupils were expelled. 65 warning letters were also issued to parents of the students before firmer action was taken. Confirmation of this from Education Minister Dr. Leanne Gaspidali during her contribution yesterday in Parliament. The update comes amid concerns about student indiscipline and bullying at schools. And also commenting on the issue, Member of Parliament for Tabakeet, Anita Haynes-Alain, said, it's critical that measures be put in place to treat with the issue in a sustained way, with proper monitoring and adequate intervention made. It was revealed that during COVID-19 pandemic, many students found it challenging to cope, and ways must be found to help students address matters, including conflict resolution situations and improving their socializing skills. "11 female Venezuelan nationals were rescued by police service who allegedly were victims of human trafficking during an intelligence-led operation on October 8, 2024, between 3:40 p.m. and 8:05 p.m. The exercise also led to the arrest of 3 suspects, 2 males and 1 female, believed to be connected to a human trafficking ring operating in the Cunupia area. After gathering intelligence on a suspected human trafficking operation and conducting extensive surveillance, a team of officers proceeded to a residence located on Ragoobarsingh Road, Cunupia. During the operation, the officers found 11 persons who were allegedly being held against their will. The Central Division Task Force Area North and the Counter-Trafficking Unit provided crucial assistance during the operation. Several items of evidential value were also seized in the ongoing investigation. In news of the region, Haiti's foreign minister on Monday blasted a policy announced last week by neighboring Dominican Republic to deport tens of thousands of migrants back to Haiti, where gang violence is fueling a devastating humanitarian crisis. The Dominican Republic, which shares the Caribbean island of Hispaniola with Haiti, last week said it would deport up to 10,000 migrants per week who were in the country illegally, a sharp increase. So far this month, the Dominican Republic has deported more than 9,000 people, more than 7,000 of those since Thursday, the National Migration Agency said in a statement issued on Monday. And finally, officials are warning Hurricane Milton is going to be a deadly and catastrophic storm as it makes its way onto land in Florida. Millions have fled the U.S. state. Milton's forecast to make landfall soon over southern Sarasota. Tornado and storm surge warnings have been put in place. It comes less than 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene hit the Gulf Coast as a Category 4 storm, killing at least 225 people across Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and North Carolina. And that is news to 6 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We'll have major news coming your way at 7 a.m. Good morning.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
Morning and neighbors, how you doing? It is 7 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock on this, the 10:10. It's a perfect day. It's 10:10. Yep, 10th of October. Thank you so much for joining us on the Power Breakfast Show. Of course, on the show, it's all about the hours. We just heard from Dr. Paul Richards. We'll hear from Richard Ragoobarsingh. We got Ruben and Shane in the mix. Of course, my name is Steve Khan. All right, quickly, let me just give you a little weather update. I woke up to thunder this morning. Thunder, that woke me up this morning. It is 25 degrees on both islands. And what the Met Office is saying our weather is going to be like for today, well, they're saying it's going to be partly cloudy at times with a few light to moderate showers and a medium to high chance, 60 to 80% of the isolated thunderstorm conditions would improve significantly by early evening, becoming fair. All right, that's your weather forecast for today. Traffic-wise, usual spots. Couva to Sugarguanas, got some volume there and congestion everywhere else. I have one accident to tell you about. It is on the Churchill-Roosevelt Highway, eastbound by the Paget lights. All right, so if you're backed up there, there is an accident there. All right, so good morning to you, Pablo. What's happening?
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, everyone.
Are you a sound of such sunshine this morning? Oh, it's overwhelming.
As you know, Avril gave me the flu, so
Yes, I'm staying away from that young lady.
it's not a snotty nose flu, it's a body ache flu.
Yeah, one not at all.
And I understand Carissa has it, and now Galen has come down with it. So
Yeah, Carissa had it yesterday.
it's spreading across the office, so you be careful in there.
Yeah, my girlfriends, they all have it. My ladies in the office, they all
Maybe you
have
should
it.
pull out the sanitizer again, the spray, so people could sanitize the phones and all that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have mine here. So,
Well, I'm talking about
have
the
out there. I have to check. They're supposed to have out there. But get well, my friend. Take some zinc. I've been taking some zinc every night for a while now. I know a few people that got that cold, and the same symptoms that you have is what they have, including that awful stomach flu that's going around. So please, the stomach flu, you can talk to your pharmacist or your doctor. For the flu, I would test for dengue, Paul, just to be on the safe side.
No, it's not dengue.
It's not dengue. All right. But I hope
I don't have dengue symptoms.
Oh, okay.
I just have body aches, that's all.
Yeah. I think you should just, when Richard comes off, you can log off and get some rest. Don't drink any coffee because you want to sleep it off.
No, I'm actually drinking tea this morning.
Wonderful. That is good. I love a good tea in the afternoon.
Good morning, Avril. Yes, it's you.
Yes, it's her.
And the Mancy also.
Mancy has it? Oh, my goodness.
Mancy had it last week.
Oh, that's the culprit. That's the culprit right there.
Oh.
What kind of tea you drinking anyway?
Lipton.
Oh, okay. I drank some tea yesterday, turmeric with something. I have plenty of tea in the house because I like an afternoon tea, and it really tasted good. First time I tried that one. But nothing beats a good cup of Lipton. Dip a dip. Dip a dip. Let's see what's happening before we get into the meat of the matter this morning. Let's say good morning, good night to Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida. Yeah. St. Lucie County got a good wood. They had 2 deaths in Lucie County because of a tornado. And I saw that tornado pass through a residential.
I don't understand why people didn't want to evacuate the homes. I don't understand that. They tell you you're going to die if you stay in your home. So your house more important than your life? Okay, good luck.
Yeah. And then I saw the sheriff's department, their roof collapsed. And Riri would know this, or Captain Ron Becker and I-95. I know that intersection well, right out of Palm City. They had a tornado that went through past the highway, and of course, sadly, 2 deaths. I watched coverage last evening a little bit. Ruben was supposed to send me some videos and yourself, but he did not. So he's in the bad book. So all those in Florida, like Ray, she says she's okay. Orlando, it landed on Siesta Key, which is just south of Orlando and north of Fort Pierce, which got it pretty bad. All my cousins and stuff, they're all okay. Godzilla in Valencia, Oliver Man Warren, Anthony Tinchard in Canada, Sasha out in London, Wendy and James, David Wares, and of course Mrs. Wares. Yep, that thunder this morning, David, that woke me up. It rumbled, just like if I was hungry. Wayne Bennett in Covenant, Georgia, Boy Badesi down in Davie. I'm supposed to go to Davie this morning, actually. My good friend, Chris Ramsawak, his funeral is at 8:30 this morning out in Davie. And then to the creek. Good friend, nice fellow. John Cato, who's this? Golfer? Never heard about you, but welcome. D. Pierre, Dwayne Sylvester, Michael Gradison, Biznat Prasad, Shanifa Ali, Andre Renu, Shuma Paul, Beauty Culture, Karen Yipnow. Good morning to you all. On WhatsApp, we have Strong, Morning Strong. We have Captain Ron. How are things in Orlando for you, Captain Ron? Hope everything is okay. David Nelson, GNC Auto Security, Sankofa. Good morning to you guys. Thank you so much for hitting us up this morning. Marcia Rock, I hope everybody is okay out in Orlando. So we have a lot of listeners out in Florida. Anthony in Toronto, good morning.
I much enjoyed the rain early this morning and last night.
Last night?
Yeah, that rain. I had rain about 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And about 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, because I was up. I had such a
restless night. Yeah, it rained when I went because my dad's 85th birthday was yesterday, so we went across there for dinner. And there was some ice driving. Head into Curep, I tell you, I saw a lightning line just come down. I said, oh my goodness. And then the rain started. I said, wow. Good morning to Jenny Fano. Greetings, Dr. Pablo and Steve, the doubles boss. That's it. That's me. No shame about it. I stopped and I got a couple to have for breakfast with my coffee. Nothing is wrong with that. I do love my doubles. Yeah, I do. So, so good morning to the folks out in Florida. I think it's a category 1 now. It went down. But I saw the breeze. Still raining in Tampa. I looked at a Tampa cam just now. And it's still raining there. Let me see what Fort Lauderdale is looking like. Still dark, sunrise in about hours time. They seem to be all right. And Tampa's got some rain this morning. Still got a little bit of wind, but nothing much. What Key West looking like? I'm looking at all these different cameras here that I pulled up. All right. 25 days to the U.S. elections and 76 days to Christmas, just letting you know. Played some Christmas music yesterday. Somebody says here, morning, Roger, out in Orlando, Florida. He says, I survived Hurricane Milton. Okay, very good.
Let's jump into the news.
Yeah.
Right. Remember we were talking yesterday because the education minister gave a presentation on the budget in Parliament yesterday and said there was a discipline matrix in schools because she said, in her words, bullying was part of the culture, unfortunately, of Trinidad and Tobago. And we were asking about whether or not, if reports were made to the principal, because somebody, I think Dr. Khan, and somebody else didn't know if it was the principals were legally responsible. Well, it just so happens that the Education Act of Trinidad and Tobago, which is the law, Section 27 states, and I quote, subject to this act and the regulations, principals of schools shall be responsible for the day-to-day management of their school, including A, the supervision of the physical safety of pupils. Isn't that say so?
And that's A.
But I guess they will say he wasn't lashed. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing in the clause. A, supervision and physical safety of pupils. So if it is true that that student and his parents made several reports to the school and they did nothing, the principal could be in breach of the law.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I said before, once you're in that school compound, you're not only responsible for your education, they're responsible for your well-being also.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, somebody sent me a video, and a kid is walking, a child, and another one's behind him filming, and they just went up behind a kid from another school and gave him one cloud behind his head.
And now, in the midst of all of this, where she also gave some statistics about other suicides that occurred recently.
Mm-hmm.
And
I heard
Minister Gatsby Dolly said, where is it? She spoke about students who in 2022, 2023, 17 students were expelled from the school system for various offenses. 21 to 22, three pupils were expelled. 65 warning letters were issued to parents of students, and then further action was taken. So, based on how widespread it is, that might be a drop in the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the time, the parents are damn well complicit in this, and I make no bones about saying it.
And they should
Parents
be
are damn well complicit. We'll take no lash from them, or protect yourself is one thing, but overtly bullying somebody and attacking them is something else.
Yeah, you remember a while back there was a female student that stood on a desk and called her parents that the teacher want to hit me and this and that. And... No.
Of course, the discussion about corporal punishment has come back into the fore.
Maybe that should be.
And whether or not we made a boo by taking that out.
Yeah, that should be our poll question. Should oops, what's going on here?
You understand? I think it ended some time ago.
Yeah, it did. Regarding, okay, we'll figure it out when we decide to, if we decide to.
Also on The Guardian this morning, information coming from an interview the Guardian media did.
Yeah.
Related to Pleasantville secondary schools, where there are 9 gangs reportedly operating. 9 gangs, and 2 of the newest gangs are called Camo and Guava. And the gang members are trying to recruit students against their wills and threatening them up if they don't join the gang. I don't know.
You joking, right? I didn't hear that story.
I am not joking. The parent who spoke to the Guardian media under the condition of anonymity said, the Camo students, of course Camo is the name of the gang, have threatened to beat them up after school. She's frightened for her son because they live close by and he walks home after school. She said the gang started fighting last week Friday and pelting stones at each other, damaging a passing car. 2 parents whose children were threatened met with the school principal, but there was no mention of what would come about what was happening. Assistant Commissioner of Police Wayne Meister, South and Central, said he'd be meeting with concerned parents via Zoom on Saturday. And he visited the school on Monday to address the students on the gang situation. So, I mean...
These are children, average age, 14.
Well, yes.
Because when they come out of school, and then on the streets, just put it that way, what they'll become.
Well, they're lining up for life in crime, some of them.
And that is it. And that is it. You put them in detention, it's like a big line after school with your friends.
You see, we need to go past this idea that one teacher for one class in this country. Yeah? One teacher cannot supervise a class. And I know there are sometimes supervisory teachers and training teachers in schools. But one teacher is very difficult to deal with secondary school or primary students, 40 in a class and 35 in a class.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
They need to have a boot camp.
What I say, send them to Milet on my part. If you consistently are being found to be in breach of school regulations and laws, I think they should take the child away from the parent. I know there's a whole legal drama, but if the parent is not supervising the child or can't seem to exercise any control over their child, maybe it shouldn't be the child's parent or guardian.
My lad.
Because your child is distressing scores of children in school, and you're responsible for your child.
No. You're being threatened to join the Gova gang. Can you really absorb what is being taught in the class? Or are you going to be totally stressed?
Just a mess.
You know?
If
One
nothing,
time. They should put it in law one time, Paul, and listeners and viewers. If you're in that, you have a 3-strike rule, then you go to Milat.
I find 3 strikes is plenty when you're talking gang activity.
All right. So once the investigation is done in gang activity, one time, Milat. Parents have no say in it. Make it into law.
So being in a gang is illegal in this country.
That's another thing.
Whether you're a minor or not. Whether you're a minor or not, of course, the criminal justice system will treat minors very differently, obviously. But you are in a gang, it's illegal to be in a gang. But remember, recently, the Minister of National Security and or a police senior official told us there are 8-year-olds in gangs. So this is not new information.
8-year-olds, imagine that.
How you just be 8?
Mm-hmm.
You could barely clean yourself and get up in the morning at 8 years old.
My niece is
gang extorting money from other students.
Let me picture my niece at 8 years old being in a gang.
Think about an 8-year-old, what an 8-year-old, 9-year-old could do.
Mm-hmm.
He has no cognitive proficiency there. They can't think. They don't know about consequences yet.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happens, they need to increase this. If nothing else comes from the tragic death of that young man, I hope that more students are saved from bullying or violence in schools.
And the teachers' convention is on tomorrow, so there's no school. And I hope this is being brought up.
I'm sure it will.
What is tutor saying about all this?
The tutor has said they're ready and willing to aid in school discipline, but there's only so much a teacher can do. The teacher can reference the issue of a child who may have come to him or her.
Yeah.
And refer to the principal or the school supervisor or the truancy officer, if there is a truancy officer in the school, but not all schools have truancy officers.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So maybe our poll question should corporal punishment be revisited.
Yeah, Richard's going to not agree with that, right? Good morning, Ragoobarsingh.
Morning, Richard.
Yes, good morning.
What's happening? What's happening? You good?
I am good. Good morning to all listeners and viewers, wherever you are.
You survived all your weather last evening. I heard that Rima was horrible with rain.
For a period, it wasn't for hours and hours. It was just for a short period. That was, at least by me.
Okay. We're talking about gangs in schools.
What, sorry?
We're talking about gangs in schools.
Well, the information is that from the police or the Minister of Education, I should say, that there are 9 gangs operating in Pleasantville Senior Comprehensive.
Yeah, I saw that in the news last night. But I saw it as a ticker tape item, and I was like, what? 9 gangs in one school? But I don't know.
Well, as I said, I hope they revise this discipline matrix and it becomes more responsive, because clearly it wasn't responsive enough to save Jaden. And as I said earlier on, we were talking earlier in the week about the responsibility of the principal and the school staff. Mm-hmm. And the Education Act, Section 27 says, under A, the principal of the school is responsible for the well-being and the physical safety of students. Yeah. Under law. Yeah. I don't think you can separate emotional safety from physical safety by an argument. You understand? The other big news this morning is, of course, there was a big bust yesterday where 11 female Venezuelan nationals were rescued by police. They were allegedly victims of human trafficking during an intelligence operation on October 8th, which is Tuesday. from 3:40 to 8:05 p.m. 3 suspects, two males and 1 female, were arrested, believed to be connected to a human trafficking ring. Well, of course, that has never stopped in this country, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know? But at least they were rescued. Of course, who else knows how many other women were subject to or victims of that situation? You know?
Yeah, so but the TTPS has become, well, I know there's a counter trafficking unit that is doing a lot of good work. So
But they were part of the exercise.
Yeah, in terms of not only the actual exercise of things like that, but trying to sensitize people and agencies with regard to the whole issue of trafficking and human trafficking. That sometimes, can go under the radar.
Mhm.
Because people think we're so small that we may not have as serious a problem as it is, especially because of the problems in Venezuela and what's happening over there. And that, well, the advantage that can be taken of young women by men. Yeah. So it always, but I don't think
a strange thing happened in Parliament yesterday. When I was looking at it, I'm saying, but what's going on here? The opposition usually fields speakers after each government minister in the budget debate, but after a while, I think after Anita Haynes or one of the opposition members of Parliament, I saw government minister after government minister speaking with no opposition interventions. So I was quite surprised at that. I don't know. That's just very weird.
Something on social media about that, and well, I think, was it Wendell who posted up something about that lack of response by the opposition, which is how they were interpreting it, and whether the opposition had collapsed or something like that. Was the meme or something like that?
But I mean, something, and yes, in many people's estimation, the budget debate is a formality because you can't change anything. It's a money bill, but you get a chance to scrutinize it and scrutinize the government policies and whether the government policies worked in the last fiscal. I think that is an important exercise. You understand? So to seemingly abandon the debate and not make contributions on, in particular, ministerial portfolios, which is normally how it would go. The government speaks, the opposition shadow for that ministry speaks and counters and adds critiques the government policy and does a postmortem of whether things worked or not in the last fiscal or in years gone by. And then they propose what they have planned. That's how it usually goes. So I don't know that, I don't know what happened, if that was a plan, if that was something. I don't know if it's true, but I saw somebody said there are better things to do, which I don't understand. Because in the end of the day, that is part of what you're getting paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of what you're getting paid for. Whether you think it's a fait accompli or a formality, the formality is an important exercise.
Well, it's part of the democracy functioning, and you can make important critical points.
Of course, that's the idea.
Yeah, you can make important critical points in terms of the exercise of scrutinizing X, Y, and Z that can maybe have the government rethink a certain issue. You never know, but you can make certain critical points. But obviously, if that happened as you're stating it did, then obviously there's a decision not to.
Well, they have the Standing Finance Committee coming up, I think, next week, which goes into line by line item in the budget documents, which is even greater scrutiny and very, very important as to why this money is allocated, what happened to the money last fiscal and stuff like that. So I hope that is not the approach next week, because then all fall down. Interestingly enough, the so-called dissidents all participated.
Yeah.
And were in some stinging rebuke for both sides. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
They criticize some of their colleagues and criticize the government too. So I don't know. It was very strange. I said, okay. Who was it? Roger Monroe spoke, and then Minister Terence Singh spoke, and then Minister Gatsby Dolly spoke. The last person I saw speaking on the opposition bench probably was Anita Haynes, Alain.
Mm.
And then it's government minister after government minister after government MP. So it's just bizarre to me. Anyway, we should open the phone. And my tata did hit me again.
Yeah. How was the webinar last night?
How was it?
Webinar.
It was very, very good. Very good. It was actually extremely well subscribed.
Oh, very good. Glad to
And I
hear
have to do it under my head pounding me, but it was very, very good. They're going to post it to USC's Facebook page, if not today, by tomorrow. So I'll send you all links for anyone who wants to look at it. It was a webinar on trauma, silent crisis in the country. So we covered things like child abuse, child sexual abuse, intimate partner violence, and stuff like that, and where it comes from and why it's so pervasive in society. It was very, very good. Thanks to Dr. Chand, Dr. Pancho, and Dr. Carol for participating. They gave some really startling information. Let me share some of the information with you, which it just freaked me out when I heard about it. There are two in particular that was shocking to me. That's not it. I was screenshotting information as they went along. In a survey of 15,695 people between the ages of 10 to 18, 47.6% of girls and 31.9% of boys reported being sexually abused. So almost half of the girls and 1/3 of the boys reported being sexually abused in I think it's in Trinidad and Tobago, and maybe the Caribbean. And in terms of early onset of sexual activity in the Caribbean, 1 in 4 girls had sexual contact at the age of 10, and 2/3 had sexual contact at the age of 13. 90% of children know their abuser. 30% of children who are abused by a family member. And 60% of children who are abused by people the family trusts. Isn't that frightening?
Crazy. That's crazy.
Crazy.
Well, but yeah, and that's why children are being abused so much, because it's family members who have a significant power dynamic disparity over the child. Anyway, we should open the phone lines.
Yeah. So let's take some calls. 222-8255. Toll free for North Americans. 866-525-1099. All right, let's grab some calls. Got some coming through. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Mi amor.
Buenos dias. ¿Cómo estás?
I'm not getting no love coming from you.
I need some TLC myself. I have the flu. We talking about you ain't getting no love. That can't be always about you. I hear with the flu to talk to you, and you talking about you ain't getting no love. It can't always be about you.
Well,
you know I had the flu. You ain't come by last and rub me down, give me a little zinc,
A little Vicks.
a little acetylfesitor or something, you know. A little hug up, a little TLC, a little massage, nothing.
I need the same thing in my voice. And I don't hold it yesterday. I get to that myself.
I hope you get well soon. Is that last encounter we had on Friday?
Thank God, I hope if he gets
Very curious that both of you all have the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I never say anything.
Isn't it, Richard?
Mm-hmm.
Very ironic.
We intimate partners. What you expect?
Look, let me make my contribution.
You don't like to kiss, you know. She doesn't kiss, kitty, you know.
Oh, jeez.
As they walk in the door, Gina's throw you on the couch, you know.
Okay, well, yeah, that's it then.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I'll say.
She said, don't move. I tell you, don't move.
Oh, but I heard what you heard there about the parliament. I was listening to in between, you know, and I really found that a bit strange. But I believe that who wanted to wrap around early, and the rest have nothing to say. But it's better that way, you know.
No, it's not.
They really have nothing to say.
Government needs to be held to account. There needs to be critique of the government policy and their last fiscal operations. It's not good that way at all.
Well, then they must have nothing to contribute. And
that is a possibility also.
Trying to body the people.
But that's what you're getting paid for in part, though.
Well, you're quite right. But half of them, they're inside there. You think they're doing what they're supposed to do to get there? They're enjoying the money. You understand? Anyhow, just you read something there about the abuse. You know, I'm saying there was a time some survey came out saying that Trinidad is one of the is the I think was number one for viewing porn. I wonder if that is still so, and I wonder if that is helping to contribute. What you think? What all you think? To how people behaving? I don't know. I want to feel so because I don't know how Trinidad gets so, especially the men. Well, what it is going to the head? Is it a breakdown in family life? I don't understand.
Why you always blaming the men?
Well, you know, we just have to put all you in line and correct all you.
Hmm.
You know.
That doesn't seem
So
to be
I
working
don't
too well.
know. Wendell was trying to correct you on Monday morning when you were schooling Hector and promised him just block him if he make that remark again on Zena. It wasn't Zena. He was trying to correct her and tell you Rena. But you were so, and I thank you for being so concerned about
All right.
I am not trying to
Thank
say
you, Zena.
Bye.
Bye
you
bye.
belongs to me. I belongs to you.
Oh my goodness. Good morning.
Yeah, morning. When
Morning, Mr.
you
Patrick.
can't go to Richard, morning.
Morning.
I was listening to the conversation where they say two gang operating in the school again, plus some. So that 9 gang in the school, right?
That's
And
what they
Yeah.
said. Yeah.
call Professor Ramesh Desaran, the criminologist, said something, maybe some 20 something years back, that the age for gang members will be between the age of 10 to 14.
Hmm.
And we've seen it coming to pass.
The chickens are coming
I'm
home to
trying to
roost.
find out. What I'm trying to find out. What making these gangs so attractive? And not only that, I'm meeting some young ladies within the age of working at 32, 35, 36. Have 4 children and no husband and no man around them, and them boy them bigger than them. And they telling me they can't control them. This single parent family thing right now, creating havoc outside there.
Well, no, because I know several
No,
single parent
I know
families
you're
that
not
do
in that
very, very
problem now.
well. So let's not
I know
broad brush
that
single
parents
parent
who
families.
manage the children. I know
There are
that
some
single
clearly that are
parents
not
who
doing
manage
well,
the children.
but not all single families are create
Yeah,
mistakes.
but well, let me tell you, I are wrong there. I outside there all the time. Single parent family, long term for now is a serious challenge now because these young men in them families attracted to what they call bling bling, and the mother can't provide it because they working in the store, they working in the mall, they working in CPEP, they working here and there, so they can't give them it, the iPhone, the new phone and all kind of thing. So these fellas them trying to gang. Yeah. We have to understand the structure of family. We don't have a male figure in a family sometimes. It could have chaos in it. My God.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick.
Good morning. Oops, it is.
Caller.
All right. We had a lot of calls coming through, so let's grab them. 222-8255. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. I wanted to highlight two situations, if you would allow me. I heard something from the press conference of the Trinidad and Tobago police that I feel everybody dropped the ball and people haven't heard anybody talk about it. Although it's been only 2 days, only a day, but reference the vehicle, the police vehicle that the two men jumped out from. First of all, I wanted to congratulate the police for capturing the two men. But in the justice system, I find to be amazing. The two men were found, one with a real firearm and the other one with a fake firearm. The one with the real firearm was fined $8,000 and given 3 months to pay it, or then if he doesn't pay it, then after 3 months would be forced to do a jail of, I believe, 16 months or something like that.
Which means he out there.
Which means he is out there.
He out there.
We're not
Judge or magistrate find that's a good idea.
Country. We're not listening to what's happening with the justice system in this country. This man was released after being found with a firearm and given 3 months to fine $8,000 or else we'll get 6 months, 16 months in jail.
You know how we getting that money to begin with.
The one with the fake firearm was released. Was released. All right, just I thought you guys go away. That is first situation that I found to be absolutely mortifying that nobody talking about. The second one is one that I believe I spoke about it on this program when I was lobbying for Tobago to get its own forensic scientists. The reason I was doing that was because it had been 3 weeks since the mother and the 2 children were found deceased. And I believe I said it on this program. If this thing is a murder, we are giving the perpetrators 3 weeks to walk to Grenada or Guyana or any other country that he wants to escape to. And some stations I was bashed and criticized. Tobago have all that murder right. Tobago need their own forensic scientists and all kind of foolish excuses we gave for my contribution. Last night I heard on the news that the blunt force trauma that the mother and 2 children was succumbed to has been diagnosed as murder. So, by our failure to provide to do immediate forensics on these 3 people, it was proven. My words have fallen to be proven to be fact that the perpetrator may have had 3 weeks to escape this sentencing because we couldn't send a forensic scientist to Tobago to do an immediate autopsy. However, on the flip side, 2 people get killed this week in Trinidad, and the autopsy was able to be done before the weekend. You see the disparity in justice and and I said it on another station, I was criticized for it. White Tobagonians may have contempt for Trinidad lawmakers and Trinidadians because they are being treated like second-class citizens as far as they are concerned. All right?
All right. Thank you.
I have a correction to make. Apparently, there were 26 government members of parliament who spoke, compared to 17 opposition persons. So just, I think opposition has 19, if I'm not mistaken. So only 2 opposition members didn't speak. Right? Your paper, Ragoobarsingh.
Oh, I have a call. Let's take this call. I selected it already. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, fellas.
Yeah, quickly.
Yeah. The thing with the children, there's a historical, the Nazi youth used in children to push propaganda and to be eyes on the prize, in Africa, the war, child soldiers, Brazil, the Gangs of New York film, which was based on children in the favelas and gangs and so on. Just recently, on Netflix, there's this true story based on a young girl who became a gang leader, but the social and economic opportunities as managing her own lifestyle when she was even young and all these kind of things, bringing up children and all these kind of stuff. The interesting phenomena of gangs, children coming together in schools. In Fatima, we had 5-1 and 5-2. Children come together and we gather now extortion and whatever. And I don't know. It will be interesting because we normally gather in groups as young people, and that's what So we gotta be the social grouping of young people, but then to protect ourselves and the kind of tension and the toxic nature of the school and all these kind of things. So before we jump to Milat, because even in Milat,
groups will form off into groups. And then, but we always have to understand the phenomena of coming together. But when you're in a toxic nature, in a school that is toxic, it can become adversarial. And something that is just natural becomes, oh, you're in a gang. And I think we have to watch how we associate these things. When it is just young people coming together, but when adversary, I understand by my boy or my girl, because, and the bullying thing, we're talking about bullying, people have to protect themselves, and people form groups, all kind of thing. And we have to, before we jump to the, oh, yeah, but children can be used by adults, young and older people, to do nefarious things, as they're saying in that youth, combat, child soldiers and things. So we have to watch that. Yeah, thanks.
All righty, thank you. All right, let's get into the newspapers. Richard said he had it.
I have the Guardian, but I could do the others online too, if need be. No, Paul is feeling that up to it.
Yeah.
So I'll start with the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for today. And the main headline in the Guardian today, and of course, just in case you didn't know, today is Thursday, October 10th, 2024. The main story on the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian on terms of the front page, 9 gangs in one school. PTA, Pleasantville Secondary students being taxed and robbed. So that's the main headline. Trinis in Florida feel Milton's fury. That's a sub-headline, and there is, of course, a picture from the Lee County Sheriff's Officer as he patrols the streets of Cape Coral Cape Coral in Florida during heavy rainfall as Hurricane Milton approached yesterday. 11 migrant women rescued from traffickers. All of that is on the front page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian today as the lead stories as determined, of course, by editors. And the main sports story on the back page is, okay, give me a second here. I just zoomed past it. Right. So the main sports story, do or die for soca warriors. That's the main story on the back page. So that's all you need to know in terms of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for this morning. So moving on now to the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday. The main stories, the top stories that you have today in Newsday, Category 3 hurricane makes landfall in Florida, monster Milton. And of course, I suppose a lot of U.S. news networks will have a lot of that. We'll be covering a lot of what is going on in Florida this morning. Autopsies on murdered mom, child chopped to neck, killed baby Jada. Police swamped after schoolboy Jaden Lalchan's death by suicide. Flood of bullying reports apparently are being made to the TTPS. Cashless Society Trinidad and Tobago Finance Center maps ways to digital payments. And United. All right, so that's basically the main stories in terms of Hotels Body Tobago Carnival trending in positive direction. CAF invests 35 million in Trinidad and Tobago Exim Bank. And Bishop student takes Tobago Junior Calypso title with steel band tribute. And Foster Cummings is quoted government committed to youth development. Those are also some of the main stories in the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday today. Moving on to the Trinidad and Tobago Express. And the main headline in the Express this morning is murder 488. Taxi driver shot dead at Minimart. I suppose that video that we saw yesterday when the guys were shooting at the car. I don't know if it's that. That's the my money trying to take off.
Mm-hmm.
And the wheels were still, he was still obviously pressing the accelerator. So murder 488, taxi driver shot dead at Minimart. Criminals carry out police raid. Cuba will just now. All right. Speaker rebukes MP for distasteful comments. Shot, kidnapped by men in police uniform and murdered. Probe into Jaden's death is no witch hunt. All these are some of the main stories. Finance Ministry and CAF signed US $35 million loan to boost SMEs. Dugram calls for global tax haven review to combat Caribbean stigma. And Belize looking to purchase electricity ship to meet demands. All right, so that's basically the main stories. And in sports, well, okay. That's the main stories. I'm not getting the current sports quickly enough. So those are the main stories in our 3 daily newspapers this morning.
All right, let's get the results. Sorry?
Today's World Mental Health Day, October 10th.
Ooh.
And the theme is mental health at work. I have a suggested question before I log out. It comes from the statement that the Education Minister made in Parliament yesterday that there is a discipline matrix in schools presently. And she gave some stats as to how many people were expelled between 21-22 and 22-23. So my suggested question is, do you think the discipline matrix in schools is working effectively?
Yeah, no problem with that.
Yeah.
See results?
Yeah, let's do that right now. Yesterday we asked you, do you think reports of bullying will be taken more seriously at schools following the death of Jaden Lalshan? That was our poll yesterday. 90%, 90 said no. All right. Let's get into this morning's poll. And there it is on your screen, those on YouTube, Facebook, and of course on METV. Good morning to you all watching us on TV. Good morning, Bernadette. Our poll question: do you think the discipline matrix in schools is working effectively? Yes or no? 222-8255. Toll free North Americans, 866-525-1099 on Facebook, on YouTube, and of course on WhatsApp at 318-1021. Do you think the discipline matrix in schools is working effectively? All right. Let's see what we got already. Ooh, a lot of, okay. Ian Lee, you disappeared for a while, Ian Lee. No. Lennon Roberts says no. Michael Robinson says no. Gloria Gray says no. Lester Craigwell, no to the poll. All right. Do you think the discipline matrix in schools is working effectively? Yes or no? And Noel, no. Ben J. Singh, no. Good morning, caller.
Good morning again. If the minister gave that figure, I would say yes. If they don't know, they can't do anything.
Our question this morning, Zena, do you think the discipline matrix in schools is... That's all you have to say. Thank you. Thank you. Sandy Grandi, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Sandy Grandi, no.
Thank you. David Wares. Both Cheryl and myself says no, so that's 2 votes. Wayne Bennett says no. Slick Money Grip, no. Julia S. Batiste, no. David Nelson, no. Junior, no. Jaron Joseph, no. Cascade St. Anne's, no. Boswell John, no. Dwayne Sylvester, no. Ron Farrell, nope. All right. Do you think the discipline matrix in schools is working effectively?
Yes or no? That's our poll this morning. 222 Talk, 222-8255. North Americans, 866-525-1099. People on the streaming platforms, you can use the messaging portals there. And of course, if you're listening to us on smart devices or watching us on M&E TV, you can WhatsApp us at 318-1021. Of course, you can put the 868 before it. Do you think the discipline matrix in schools is working effectively?
Antonio Butts says no. Winston McKenzie says no. Somebody come on, go. No. All right, so 222-8255, toll-free North Americans, 866-525-1099. That earlier accident on the Churchill Roosevelt Highway, eastbound by Pasture Lights, that's been cleared up. So it's not smooth sailing at all. We've got your traffic. Of course, you'll enjoy your day tomorrow, I'm sure. All right, let's see if we have more. Carol Guevara, who needs a new screen for her phone, says no. Andre Reno, no. Richard P. Knights, no. I have good morning, Paulette and Joe from Brooklyn says no. All right, guys, thank you so much. Strong says no. What says you, caller?
Hi, morning. Good morning, honey.
Morning.
Morning, Mrs. R.
Morning, my love. My breath is fresh air, everything. Special good morning to you. My answer to the poll, Steve, is no. And a special good morning to Marina. You got a whole strong girl. And a good morning to CJ. And of course, last but not least, good morning to Gina. The three most important women on the show.
All right, thank you. Beauty culture. No, I've never had an ice cream doubles and never will. But she says no to the poll. Esther, ice cream doubles. Ugh. Esther says no. All right. Do you think the discipline matrix in schools is working effectively? That is our poll. Of course, coming up in a minute, we'll have our major news with Avi. And I'm all set up for her and her flu. You'll see it when I turn the camera around. Let's see. Any more votes here? Paulette and Kajo, Brooklyn. No, that's the last one. Vaughn Drayton says no. Marvin Connor. Morning, Marvin. Blessed day to the panel. It's my first time on. I'm listening. All right, Marvin. So we asked you a poll. You can vote yes or no. Our poll question, which we do every morning. Do you think the discipline matrix in schools is working effectively? That is our poll, Marvin. You can tell us.
Yes. Our poll this morning. So 222 Talk, 222-8255. We have like a minute or a little less, actually. As we head towards 7 a.m. to our 7 a.m. news. And of course, after the news, I'll give you the results for the poll this morning in the allotted time that we gave people to vote.
All right.
You'll be able to vote on the poll throughout the day and throughout the program, and we'll give you the final result tomorrow morning. But you'll get
Boy Badesi says no. Thomas Diaz says no. And this is what I did for AV across here. Oh, it's not showing it, but I put up, when we had COVID, they had these cardboard screens that you could see right through. So I pulled one out, and so we have a few. Wow. So I would not get the flu, and I have my mentholated spirits that I will sanitize that area with as soon as I'm done. Let's get into our 7 o'clock major news.
Next.
AV is in.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service inundated with reports of bullying following Jaden Laltron's suicide. Meanwhile, ACP Wayne Meister says that the police are not on a witch hunt in the case involving the 15-year-old teen. Police officers are said to be investigating reports that 9 gangs are operating within the Pleasantville Secondary School, and the Minister of Education, Nyan Gatsby-Dolly, says that there has been a staggering 467% increase in student expulsions over the past academic year. Details in a moment. This is news at 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Sintil-Bab. Good morning. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has been inundated with reports of bullying following Jaden Lalchan's suicide. Head of the police Southern Division, ACP Wayne Meister, said school children with similar experiences are coming forward to report similar incidents to the police. According to Meister, the unfortunate situation created an opportunity for people who were silently dealing with their own trauma to come forward. He said some schools keep incidents of this nature inside its walls to avoid stigmatization and, in some cases, a smear on its prestige. Speaking with the Power Breakfast Show recently, Meister promised to restart an anti-bullying campaign in schools starting in the South, Southwestern, and Central police districts with the aim of it mushrooming into the national police agenda. Meister said Lalchan's death is being treated with urgency and additional police resources have been assigned to the case. Officers are interviewing students, teachers, and parents. He said a file should be completed within the next week and a half and will be sent to the Office of the Director of Prosecutions for advice. Meanwhile, Meister said that the police are not on a witch hunt in the case involving the 15-year-old teen. He said a thorough investigation will be conducted into allegations of bullying at St. Stephen's College in Princestown, where Jaden was a student. He said if investigators conclude that someone drove the teenager to his death 2 Wednesdays ago, criminal charges will be laid, he added. Meister said several people will be interviewed in the case, including teachers, students, and parents. He revealed that the teenage boy being accused of bullying Jaden and his parents have also been contacted by officers of the Child Protection Unit. Meister said more officers have been added to the case and promised the matter would be expedited. He said when that information is gathered, officers have a responsibility to have an audience with the DPP to advise on the way forward. According to Meister, bullying is considered a criminal offense under the Offenses Against the Persons Act. Police officers are said to be investigating reports that 9 gangs are operating within the Pleasantville Secondary School. Reports indicate that 2 newly formed gangs, the Camo and Gorva, are causing increased concern at the institution. According to media reports this morning, one parent said her son and his friend, who are in Form 1, were attacked in their classroom last Wednesday when they refused to join the Camo gang. She noted that last week, Friday, a fight broke out between the gangs and students started pelting stones at each other, damaging a passing vehicle. On Thursday, the principal of the school met with 2 parents whose children were threatened. However, there was no mention of what would be done about the gang rivalry. Meanwhile, the Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of South and Central Divisions, ACP Wayne Meister, said that he will be meeting with concerned parents on Saturday via a Zoom meeting, following which he will visit the school on Monday to address students on gangs. Treasurer of the school's Parent Teachers Association, Clarence Mendoza, spoke with Guardian Media and confirmed the existence of the gangs in the school, saying students in Form 1 are being pressured, taxed, and beaten if they refuse to join the gangs. He said the students face regular threats, leading some parents to take their children out of the school for fear for their safety. Minister of Education, Dr. Nyan Gatsby-Dolly, says that there has been a staggering 467% increase in student expulsions over the past academic year. During her contribution to the 2025 budget debate, Gatsby-Dolly revealed that 17 students were expelled in the last academic year compared to just 3 the previous year. Additionally, 65 students received warning letters threatening expulsion. She warned parents that of the need to control their children, saying that the ministry cannot allow children to disrupt schools. Addressing the issue of undisciplined students, the minister warned that parents will face consequences if they upset the balance government is striving to maintain in schools. She said this approach aligns with the National Discipline Matrix approved in 2022. The minister said the Ministry of Education has a national school discipline matrix for a reason, and parents have a responsibility to take care of their children. She noted that there are children who have come there to learn, and the ministry has a responsibility to create and to maintain a safe space. In light of the tragic death of St. Stephen's College student Jaden Lalchan, the minister acknowledged that cyberbullying had become a significant challenge. She noted that she has spoken with the National Security Minister about this pressing issue. You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital till 7 o'clock. 14-month-old baby Jada Mutilal died from a single chop to her tiny neck, resulting in shock and massive hemorrhaging. This is according to an autopsy which was conducted on October 9th. Her mother, 34-year-old Tara Ramsarup, died from multiple chop wounds. The autopsies were conducted at the Forensic Science Center in St. James the day after the mother and child were discovered dead in the home of a male relative in Barrackpore. Ramsarup and her baby were found on a bed soaked with their blood. Ramsarup's murder ended 6 years of abuse at the hands of the suspect, who remains in police custody. Her distraught sister, Jasodra Rajaram, advised abused women once they leave such a relationship not to look back. Finally, here's weather news for the period today till midnight. Trinidad and Tobago, partly cloudy at times with a few light to moderate showers and a medium to high chance of the isolated thunderstorm. Conditions will improve significantly by early evening, becoming mostly fair. Nighttime, mostly fair, but for some brief light isolated showers. In the vicinity of heavy showers and or thunderstorms, expect gusty winds, localized ponding, and street or flash flooding. You can expect a temperature high of 33 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 32 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. It is 26 degrees Celsius at both localities at present. Recapping your headlines to 7 o'clock, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service inundated with reports of bullying following Jaden Lalchan's suicide. Meanwhile, ACP Wayne Meister says the police are not on a witch hunt in the case involving the 15-year-old teen. Police officers are said to be investigating reports that 9 gangs are operating within the Pleasantville Secondary School, and the Minister of Education, Dr. Nayan Gatsby-Dolly, says there has been a staggering 467% increase in student expulsions over the past academic year. I'm Afril Sindhil-Bab. That was news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. There is more news in detail coming up at 12 noon and an update at 8 o'clock this morning. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
All right. So, Evie, slide it that way.
So people can see it?
Yeah, no.
Can they see it? Look.
I don't know.
No, leave it like that.
Yeah.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
This is what Steve has.
They really
in
not
front
see
of
it.
me. Look,
They're still not seated.
No, really?
No, yeah, I come closer.
Okay.
Yeah.
They see it now?
I don't know. Yeah, one of those placard things.
Yeah, horrid.
Yeah, so sanitize that mic here.
Wow, I'm not sanitized.
Take it out.
You move it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was just for me?
Yes.
It's so kind.
I don't want to get it cold. Paul has body aches. I don't want to.
He didn't get it from me, Steve. He got it from somebody else, but it wasn't me.
It's only a man here. You, Carissa,
exactly.
Paul.
Look at how much people had it.
He's
I don't know why you're just
proximity
targeting me. It was proximity to everybody. Y'all are so mean.
I need a raise. Thank you, Evie, for a 7 o'clock
horrible.
major news.
I don't even sound like I have the cold.
Did she just do that and walk off? Anyway, you can join Evie again at 8 o'clock for our news brief. Traffic-wise, San Fernando, you're lighter than usual. You are. Solo, Couva to Sugar Waters. Other than that, where you think you're going to get traffic, you will get traffic. Let's see if we have any more votes coming in. Let's see. Um, okay. Beauty culture, you can stick to that doubles ice cream by yourself. Let's see. Any more votes? Scorpion Pepper, what did we say? Okay. Okay. Augustine says no. We have Captain Ron out in Orlando saying no. We have Anne Marie saying no. Just double checking here. Okay. Oh boy, you're going to that funeral. Okay, yeah. As soon as John picks me up, I'm not driving. Then Marvin. Okay, that's it, Richie Rich. That's all our votes.
All right, so we had.
No, before I give the vote, Paul has logged off. Evie gave him the virus, so he's a bit mashed up a little bit. So he's off for the rest of the morning. So get well, Paul.
We have 36 people voting on the poll this morning. Of the 36 people voting on the poll, 35 of you said no, you do not agree. You do not think that the discipline matrix in schools is working effectively, contrary to what the Minister of Education seems to be suggesting. 35 of you said no, you do not think it is working effectively. One person said yes. So one person said yes, 35 people said no. You had 36 people voting on the poll in the allotted time. Of course, you can continue to vote on this poll throughout the day, through all programming, and we'll give the final results tomorrow morning, which will be Friday, because the weekend tonight, people, at a second after midnight, because it is Thursday. Just reminding you, of course, the theaters on this weekend. We have the hilarious comedy. That's Extravagant News. What happens in the dark comes to light. This weekend, and we move now to Cipriani College. Of course, we've been to Queensall, we've been to Sapa, and now we're in Cipriani College in Valsayn this weekend. Saturday at 8:30, Sunday at 6:30. Of course, tickets at Cipriani College went on sale from yesterday, so they are on sale every day now from 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Tickets also available at K-Squared Fashions locations at West Mall, East Gates, and of course at Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. Tickets also available at Electronics in Arima, Jabili Rawe in Tunapuna, and Tony's Florals in Val Park Shopping Plaza, and Charflair Auto Services in Charflair. So you have all of those outlets where you can get tickets from, besides the box office, which is open from 12 noon to 6 p.m. I'm looking forward to a fantastic weekend of laughter this weekend. We had a rehearsal on Tuesday night that went a little long, but we don't ever stop rehearsing, even though play is open. We always keep at it, and so we were laughing at rehearsal. we're laughing because you're always tweaking, you're always adding stuff to it. So so things are always being added and stuff like that. So we're looking forward to a wonderful 2 shows this weekend in Cipriani College, one of our theaters we love because of its intimacy and stuff. If you've never been there, it seats about 400 people. It's pretty intimate. More intimate than Napa and Sapa, obviously, because it's, you're closer.
Yeah.
Kinda leaning more in the direction of Central Bank, even though Central Bank Auditorium is probably the most intimate because you're right there. But kind of leaning in that direction. If you've never been to Cipriani College, the CLR James Auditorium at the Cipriani College in Valsayn. So that's Extravagant News. Comes to Cipriani College this weekend. Get your tickets early. Of course, you can also purchase tickets online via bank transfer, so you can check RSRR Productions theater page for that information on Facebook or Instagram and TikTok with regard to how you can accomplish that, but mostly Facebook and Instagram, how you can accomplish that transfer. All right. Oh God, it just went from me. I was now about to tell you all. Let me see if I get it back quickly. Yeah. Why did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wanted to give you all the winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature. It's a South Korean poet who won the prize this year. It just
Nobel Prize?
Literature.
Yeah.
The Nobel Prize for Literature.
Mm-hmm.
It's out. You know, I like to give these prizes. There was the one for chemistry yesterday, but I didn't get to read it. Well, no, all Israel talk. So let me see if I can get in the Nobel Prize for Literature, because I know there are a lot of literature fanatics out there. All right.
I thought you had it with you, yes?
Yeah, so the Nobel Prize for Literature 2024 winner is South Korean author Han Kang. And
what's his name?
Han Kang.
A Kang again. That's all I'll say.
Han Kang. And
Ragoobarsingh.
Kang won the 2024 Nobel Literature Prize. It's not him, it's a her. For her intense poetic prose confronts historical traumas and exposes the fragility of human life, the award-giving body says. So Laureate Han Kang's major international breakthrough came with the novel The Vegetarian in 2015. Written in 3 parts, the book portrays the violent consequences that ensue when its protagonist, Young Hai, refuses to submit to the norms of food. So Han Kang, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, is the winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature. And of course, she was born in 1970, so she is a South Korean national. So congratulations to South Korea, and congratulations to Han Kang for the Nobel Prize in Literature. Always good to know. I suppose we could open up the lines in the interim.
Yeah.
I know
I changed my guest to phone, but did not reply. So.
I know the minister. Who's the guest?
I wanted Anita Haynes.
Oh, the Minister of Education came under some criticism on social media for that.
The Minister of who, sorry?
The Minister of Education.
Yes.
Came under criticism on social media for not attending Jaden Lalchan's funeral. Like, you know, a lot of social media felt she should have attended.
And I agree with that.
I had mentioned yesterday, without knowing that there was this circulating, that sometimes, especially the politicians in power, needed to be present in certain very national and very public murders / deaths that occur in the country. I think they need to be present because it's a symbol of support. It's a symbol. It's an important symbol. It's an important symbol of empathy for what citizens are going through that sometimes is missed, and sometimes it's important that citizens see that you are there with them. But that's just my opinion. But anyway, we could open up the
my
lines.
opinion too, Rich.
So anyway, we could open up the lines at this point while we wait for Anita Haynes.
Good morning.
222-8255, North Americans 866-525-1099. Good morning.
Good morning, again.
Mr. Patrick.
This morning, what I was saying is that the breakdown of the family structure. The single parent home today, not the single parent home when it was then. Single parent home then has grandfather, grandmother, uncle, aunt who was mature and who had principles and values that could lead the children, even if the father not around. But now, you see that the mother with 3 children on her own, she can't work because the kind of money she's working for. She can buy these nice sneakers and these nice phone and these nice things for them children. So the children now decide to start to gravitate to where they could get these sources. And I have a lot of friends, women friends who have children who have fear that the children will join gangs. Is that really thing?
Mm-hmm.
The single parent home right now is a serious challenge. Even the home with a mother and father is a challenge, but not for the single parent home. So in the end of the day, I don't know what the government could do about that.
You can't do anything about that, Mr. Patrick, because there will always be single family homes. There will always be single parent homes that will exist. So, and I'm not so sure what data you're quoting from, or if this is just your feeling.
No, this is people I meet every day.
So
Every
this is
day,
your
all the time. I meet them all about it.
It's just you talking to people and you come to this opinion.
No, I ain't talking to people. People talking to people.
So this is your opinion.
I have lots of calls coming through.
We have programs and things where people are being venting. All right.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Patrick. Good morning. Good morning. Going once. Caller. You're there. You're just not listening to us, so I'll move on. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, I have no idea what's going on here. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, I don't know why Mr. Tricity attacking single parents home like people in homes with mothers and fathers don't have parental issues. Hello?
Yeah. We are Indian.
Yeah. So I find it unfair, you know what I mean? And then you skew the conversation because parents generally with who come from elite families, mother and father, they need parental assistance. The same thing with single parents, they need assistance. Everybody needs assistance, and that should be the conversation. And when you send your children to school as part of that's some of the how we create the community, the social worker, the community police, all these things. Community policing, I always say we have never defined that to understand what it means as a police. A community police is basically a social worker on steroids in a kind of way. They work they understand the community, they know the thing, they see the child, they know how to help, they know how to bring in. They think that is just generally they're interacting with the village council, the school, the primary school. So how we reorganize our community. But the thing is, I have been through the rehabilitation thing, and I have sit down with men from all stratospheres of this society. People who have money up the yin yang. They've come from single, they come from parents, good, nice parents, husband and wife. They're Christians, they're Muslims, they're Hindus, they're atheists. They're all there, and they're all going through their trauma of their sons, mainly men. Like there are some women who deal with gambling issues and stuff and drug things, but they're all dealing with parental issues.
All
So,
right.
oh God, man, let's stop this thing about the single parents. How they're going to attack single parents? Poor single parents. Right.
You know that issue of community policing, Dean? Is it that community policing you think did you end the phone call, Steve?
Yeah, I didn't know it's coming.
Because I was going to ask him about that whole issue of community policing, because the TTPS at times vacillates between having committed community police officers and having what should I say, public relations message that says all police officers are community police officers, which I don't necessarily believe. Because as you were saying, Dean, I think it's a specific skill set you want from certain types of police officers who maybe get additional training in how to deal with community and have that kind of social work ethos infused into their profession as a when the TDPS says all police officers are community police officers, you're kind of like, what? Yeah, okay. You're obviously not treating with the issue of community policing as a serious and separate thing and tool in your arsenal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that's the last thing I heard from the TTPS. I don't know if it's changed and they're not dedicated community police officers again. But the last thing I heard, I remember hearing, not necessarily under the current Commissioner of Police, but prior, was that all police officers are community police officers.
Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning.
Morning, New York.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, just a simple suggestion. You know, I mean, I've been hearing. I mean, I listen to this radio from 5:30 in the morning, and I mean, you have covered a lot of wide range of topics. But I don't think, besides hearing health officials, I don't think we have discussed on this radio station alternative forms of medicine. For example, natural medication. I don't think I've ever heard someone, a guest on your line, talking about that topic. So I was just saying maybe that could be because people are so concerned about their health situation now, and I mean, you know, diabetes, and I mean, there are lots of natural forms of medication that can help them. So I was wondering if that is possible, you know, to have someone, you know, alternative forms of medicine or on your station at some point in time. I don't think I've ever heard a discussion along these lines here. Have a great day, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you, New York.
All right, you may be right. I mean, we'll have to decide
That one we have to check out because they're
suitable
representatives. Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah,
Dean, quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, and I think the local government people said the estate officers in local government will become the community police for the area, which they're supposed to act in a certain way because estate officers in local government supposed to be in the community vending, illegal vending, squatting, whatever, or all those kind of things. But I think Faris and them did allude that they're supposed to navigate them into community police. And yes, they're supposed to have that training, that specific training to deal, because they're dealing with community and they have to have and then they interlink with the thing because they have to build trust. So it's a different type of operation, and that trust that they build could interlink to the police, a greater police, or the bigger police, and then social work, but more social work because it's trust you're building, and if people find that your trust is only to lock you up, it's not. That's how it is. So I think the community police supposed to be trained totally different from from the police officers and how you, and I think they're just I will say social workers on steroids. With a gun there, or with a gun, and have certain other legal parameters than a social worker, but they will be more social worker than police, but they are police, and I think something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
All right. Thank you. Good morning.
Morning, Steve.
Morning.
Morning, Richard.
Morning.
So, I didn't vote on the poll question just because I wanted to call in to give my view. Now, in order for something to know if something is working effectively or ineffectively, it has to be used. So if school principals know that there is a discipline matrix, and when reports come from parents or youth students that certain things happen where that discipline matrix has to come into effect and they don't utilize it, so they just turn a blind ear and a deaf ear and a blind eye to it, then we can't say that it is not effective because they are not using it. But on the other hand, if they say, well, okay, we're going to utilize the discipline matrix, but the reports that we get in, and the other powers that be just not going ahead with it. You do your part, you are principal, you do your part, and the next person who's supposed to go carry it further, not doing it, well, then we can say as well that we can say that it's ineffective because nothing has been done. So I would not have voted. If I was going to vote, I would have voted yes, because we don't know. Because if that is so much entrenched, as the minister said, how come so many problems exist, especially bullying, the extortion of money from young children, lower school, how come these things exist? And if it is being reported, as parents say, why aren't these principals not acknowledging the fact that it is happening. So because they don't want their school to be any limelight, they want to be in good books all the time. It's not working anymore. That used to be in the past. If you all understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I will vote yes. I can't say it's not working, and I still can't say it's not working or working. So, but I will still lean on yes anyway.
All right.
So, you have a good day.
Thank you, Deputy. Have a good one. Good morning, caller.
Well, the question was, is it working effectively? Yeah?
Effectively, yeah.
So that's the nuance in terms of the question I was asked. Is it working effectively?
Good morning.
Saying that there were so many expulsions and more expulsions happening, just to me reads as if it's save face in light of the criticism directed at the Ministry of Education in how they're handling bullying from an institutional point of view. And is it effective? Because you're getting a lot of criticism. Up to yesterday, you had a caller who called and said that there was some student, I think in first year, who was being harassed and beaten in school and being bullied in school. Let me say, not say beaten, but being bullied. And the mother asked for a transfer and was refused. So if you're desensitized to those kinds of requests, or how much investigation goes into those kinds of requests, but if a parent is saying, look, my child is being bullied and I want my child to move, that's because that was part of the criticism that was leveled by some people on social media at the mother of Jaden Lalchana. Why didn't you move him from the school? But sometimes that's much more difficult to accomplish than you think in terms of the bureaucratic behemoth that the Ministry of Education is. So how do you make it responsive and discerning and effective in terms of those kinds of requests in a timely manner?
All right, let's grab some calls. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning again. I want to agree with the line Miss Dabadi took, and that is what I was trying to say. Again, we're not sure if the principals reported it. We're not sure if the children even reporting it to the principals. Sometimes parents don't even know. The children must be just handling it for themselves. And some of the fights I saw on video, I see parents and maybe bigger brothers or sisters or whoever coming outside and getting involved. So like some of them, after the fact, the principal may know. So they must be dealing with it by their own self.
I don't buy that. Parents are very protective of their children and they report. They report to teachers. And teachers have a responsibility to report to principals.
Do you think all the children that tell their parents? What about some who feel like
many children do? So I'm not going down the speculation road, but many children do. I know of the instances of parents I have interacted with where children were bullied. They have all reported it. I don't know of any instance in terms of the people I know where parents didn't ignored it.
Richard, you speculated too because you don't know for all the schools either.
Yeah, but speculating. But the issue is, if somebody reports it, what is the mechanism, and does that mechanism work effectively? And that's why I think the majority of people said no today, because they didn't think it worked effectively. And Jaden Lalchan is an obvious example of that failure.
And that is why I said what the minister, I was going on stats that she gave. So I realized that if it reached there, they would handle it effectively from what I am means that they do. If so many were expelled and so many were this and that and the other, is when it comes like that many people will blame the Ministry of Education. But I'm going back to the point.
That sounds like a Stephen Face explanation to me that came out of the Ministry of Education yesterday. Let's give some data that proves that we do things. That's what that sounded like.
Oh God, well in this country, damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yeah, because a lot of the times they don't. And Jaden Lalchan is an obvious example of they
All
don't.
right, my lord. All right, my lord. Good morning again. Bye.
You got the title right.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Dean. I'm not bashing those single parent home, brother. I just stating the fact when you discuss these things with principals and teachers and people in the society, you come to realization that we're living in a different time. Long time we had the whole family structure to help guide the children. Now most families do not have that. And there are a lot of single parent home where the financial income and the time to supervise children is not there. So a lot of people right now have a serious issue with the scare. And I talking about things I talking about not some last week. Yes, now you're dealing with them situation in church and in different settings. Because a lot of people feel, hey, yes, you could live your life. You go to work for 9 hours, 10 hours, traffic jam in the morning, traffic jam in the evening. Your child going on the road. When you come home, you tired. They can't get food to eat. 3 children. It's a serious issue going on there. Nobody bashing no single mother. I just stating what I observed for years. Nice? What parents need help. Even in homes, they have mother and father. Children getting caught up with the matrix. Children getting serious caught up about it. So at the end of the day, the family need help. That's the issue, you know. And how we going about doing that? Because something with the gangs and them, like the gangs seem attractive. Let me say Ragoobarsingh. Because like everybody wants to join a gang.
Everybody does not want to join a gang. How could you say something like that?
Yeah,
Everybody does not want to join a gang.
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
Minority of young people in the country.
But some of the gangs seem attractive.
To some.
Look over gang in a school. 9 gang in a school. And I only 1 school. Something wrong out there with the system. 9 gang in a school. 1 school. How many schools they ain't talking about? Yeah, you got to do that, yes?
Yeah, and the majority of students in that school are not members of a gang.
All right.
Don't brush all young people as if they're aspirational to gang culture. Come on.
Right.
Yeah, Dean, again, go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So right. So the last thing he said was, Mr. Chinsky, you said was right. Family needs help. But when we start the conversation, just using one focal group, we set up the conversation in a thing that's, I don't know, come on, plenty politicians do that. We know, and that is not that unfair to a wide conversation because it was single parent. I'm not saying single parents need added assistance, and they will think because yes, single and the community and the wider group, because you know, and the historical time. My grandmother was I grew up with 2 grandmothers, single, you know, brought up their 4 and 14 children, but she had a sister, and his sister helped, and all those things. And these things now, people becoming younger and all the demographics, but there are things. There are other things in the community and in our state apparatus that support families. You know, there was one person when you're age, it have all these kind of different things. If you go through the PSI thing of on what budget is spent on, people should read the PSI on all these things about what it have in the state institution to support families and things. And it's there. Sometimes weak, sometimes good. But how do we fix it is the issue to support family structures. So the family is both mother and father and single, which is could be a father or a mother. But we always go down the paradigm conversation because it could pop up all over the thing about single parent, and it skews the conversation to one way. That's all I'm saying, Mr. Trinity. I'm not saying you're bashing it. I'm saying there is a concern for single parents, but if we speak holistically, we will have a better way to resolve the issue. In Trinidad, we always pigeonhole conversations, and we get nowhere. That's like, and that is how politicians like to talk.
And sometimes, Dean, we sidestep conversations. If the FPA in 2024 still has to issue a press release about the issue of proper sex education in our school system, we spin it up in mud.
Right, and right now I'm working in a school right now, and doing a stuff and thing, and we just did a program around that, conversations with parents, with children, and thing, and around the break the silence and around sex abuse and how to speak to children about the thing. But because we feel that because we make and we have children, we become automatically parents. Parents will come with a certificate. Anybody can become a parent, and the thing is that parents need support, language, behavior, how to identify, and all these things. And what we need to understand is parents need support. All parents.
Right.
That's why the grandfather and grandmother thing was a kind of interesting, anthropological thing, because the grandfather was the wisdom and the wise person who will speak. The grandmother teach her how to cook, and that kind of thing. And so we just need to fix the things and make it work. That's the manpower audit. That's what public sector reform is about. All right, if it done well, if it do it well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man.
All right, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How you guys going?
Very good. How you doing, Orlando?
Yeah, still haven't assessed the damages yet. I haven't gone outside. Still dark. Still raining.
It's still raining, you said?
Yeah, it's still raining out here. It's raining for 2 days now.
Yeah, I saw that.
So,
has the worst passed Orlando already?
So far, that's what they're saying, but it's still breezy and like on and off. So and still raining. So I haven't gone outside to see the damage there, but still advising people to stay indoors. But listen to you guys. The lights just returned, so which is good. But that gentleman who called and is talking about everybody wants to be in a gang, he's totally off. He's totally off. And not because somebody is a single parent, that means they're going to go down that road. People need to stop generalizing and stop making certain statements because they feel 9 gangs in one school. Like you rightly said, Mr. Richards, not everybody wants to be a gang member. We all had decisions to make when we were growing up, and we could have done that, but we didn't do it. And you're talking to someone here who grew up, and my mother and father died when I was 2 years old, and we grew up with our grandparents. One time it was just our grandmother, a single parent, until my grandfather returned. He was a sailorman. So I mean, what he's talking there is totally, it doesn't make any sense. It's totally not ignorant. Maybe that school has a problem. They need to be a little more strict. But you see, the thing is, people need to understand, too, the teachers who provide knowledge, the parents are supposed to provide the teaching. And that's how it goes. As we used to grow up, people think it's just the parent alone supposed to do. The neighbors are supposed to help. We couldn't disrespect our neighbors. And even here now in Florida, if I see my neighbor's daughter or son going around the rush, I will help them. Some of them come over here for me to help them the same thing. So what is he talking about? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up, because there are many successful people in this world who grew up on single parents, and some grew up with no parents.
Yeah.
I don't know what is he talking about. He's talking of anger, or maybe he means well, but I don't think he's correct for saying that. Y'all have a good day, man.
All right, thank you. All right, 222-8255, toll free. North Americans, 866-525-1099. Good morning to Trevor and Arima. Ooh. Okay. That's a long one. Yeah. All right. Where did Rich go? All right. You can vote on our morning poll. It's going to stay up on our mobile app, which you should have by now, or our website at power102fm.com. And our question this morning, we give you the final results tomorrow. Do you think the discipline matrix in schools is working effectively? All right. So you can vote yes or no. I'll give you the results tomorrow. So let's get some calls going. 222-8255, toll free North Americans, 866-525-1099. You send us a WhatsApp at 318-1021. Good morning to all those watching us on METV. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Not bad at all. How you doing?
Yeah, just one thing. I think about Richard and working there. Not with Wendell.
Wendell is off today. He'll be on tomorrow.
Yeah. You are still with the discipline thing in school, right?
Yeah.
No. As I told you the last time, I'm a senior citizen. I will be 80 years next year. I grew up with a mother. My mother died when I was 2 months old. I grew up with my aunt. I got one child. It's 6 years and she had. And I grew up behind the bridge, right? So if you know behind the bridge, there's all kind of things, rioting, gambling things. I don't smoke. I will drink a little beer. I will line with criminal sport. I will pick in school. We used to have fighting in school because I used to do my little boxing. I used to look after some two guys. Sahadat Mohammed, I don't know if you know that name, on George Street. They had a right bank Australia. They had a photography place. Them fellas used to want to be them boys and them. And I used to take care of them. With the cricket, the school, we play in the dry river. It had bigger field, they want to hit it to and I just stand up to them. But after that, we remained friends. Right? Because the police, but the teacher wanted to call us in the room to beat us something. Now what I'm saying is discipline, it breaks down in the schools really bad. Long time when a teacher beat us in school, we take week and we go home. We settle for that. We used to listen. You do something bad, your mother or your family, you will cry to the Central Police Station and let the police talk to us. We used to go in the police station and play table tennis on a hill with Otello Pierre, Mr. Blesdell, and these guys, Burroughs and all them, when we were at the Sun Street there. But we had the manners, we had the discipline to respect. You see, respect, the whole thing in the school system breaks down in respect. And it comes from high up, because I, a youth man, could watch a man in parliament cussing and getting on and using obscene words. And it's so sad. It's so sad when I watch in parliament now, especially with the MPs and them, on both sides. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't taking no side. But you see, discipline. And I am always saying, a little lash in school and home, because I can remember a guy by me, he did something wrong. If you can telling him, mother, don't touch him, don't beat him. But when he went so far, he went higher, he teach somebody and he end up in the court. Because the mother don't have to look for money for bail. And this is what I'm saying. The people and them who have all these groups, I call them human rights and this rights and things. When you get in trouble, is your mother and father that lease all the little piece of land and wherever it is to pay for bill. And that bill thing is something else. And you know, Mr. Richard and Mr. Khan, have a good day.
You too, pal. Have a great one as well. Good morning. Good morning, caller. All right, Richard.
I have a lot of silent callers today.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It's not from my end. Everything is working well. Yeah.
So it's a show with calls today. We have calls. This is a day you can call them. So 222-TALK, 222-8255, North Americans, 866-525-1099. People on, well, that's all I need to say because it's calls you're taking. I have nothing else to say. Yeah. 222-TALK, 222-8255. Of course, if you're outside of Trinidad and Tobago, but not in North America, you'll have to call 868-222-TALK. You'll have to put in the code 868-222-TALK, 222-8255. But North Americans, absolutely toll free to you at 866-525-1099. In terms of stuff. So, of course, we're discussing today the issue of the discipline matrix in schools, which is the pool, but of course, you can't talk about anything else.
I have lots of calls coming through now. Good morning.
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 Yes,
Morning.
I think the disciplinary system in the schools is truly lacking. I think expulsion is usually seen as a last resort. That is, after everything else has been tried, that is what you go to if the student is not responding. But my wife is a teacher, and I ask her, what systems are there in place? So we took away corporal punishment years ago. But if a child is not basically working to certain standards, if they're not respectful, for example, if a child is disrupting the class, what disciplinary action is there? There's nothing. There's nothing in place. So I'm not saying to go and beat children. Licks is not the only form of discipline. There are many different forms of discipline, but there's no disciplinary actions in the schools, and in some cases at home as well. So there's no consequence for bad behavior. And so in a child's mind, it is okay to engage in bullying and fighting.
Do anything they want.
That's it.
Yeah.
So as a quick example, I remember when I was going to school, back then we had Games World. And I went into Games World.
I haven't heard that in years. You're probably about Richard's age, yes.
My mom, a single parent, spoke to me more than once. Different forms of discipline, talking, licks, that didn't work. Until one day, she went to the police station. She got a sergeant, and he came with two officers. I remember that clearly. And they took me out to the Games World, walking through Arima with mom in tow. And he put me to sit down in the station, Arima police station, and he really spoke to me. And he gave me a little threat as well. I remember I had to every time I come in to Arima from school, I had to sign what time I reach and all that. And that was it. All Games were done for me because he gave me some threats there, So I'm saying we need discipline. Different children respond to different forms of discipline. And I think that would definitely help. Thanks, gentlemen. Have a good day.
All right. All the best to you, man. Take care. Good morning.
Thanks, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, so I made a post on your WhatsApp, I think it was yesterday, and I would just like to read out what I wrote because it was posted on another platform. Can I?
Yeah, quickly.
Okay. So what I said was there's a cultural aspect to the way we communicate in Trinidad and Tobago that lends itself to what those students perpetrated against the young man, as Jaden Lalshan. It is something about the way we insult each other in Pekong and mask it in the name of humor that needs to be addressed. You heard it recently by the Moruga Table, an MP in Parliament, when she spoke about where the government could put the highway. There are many public figures and entertainers who engage in this type of aggression to achieve their objectives. And we wonder why our children behave the way they do. It is because they are enabled by adults, from the highest office holders to the artists and the man in the street. Let us take a serious look at ourselves, trying to be. So,
okay.
Well, I hear you. I mean, the issue of how we use language, and Trinidadians and Tobagoans can sometimes be a little bit insensitive to how people receive whatever they're saying. Beyond bullying, I'm not, because bullying I think is very much more intentional. That if you're calling somebody a faggot or you're calling somebody a pussy or a hen, that's intentional and that's to hurt. That's not pecan. So there's a separation. But sometimes Trinidadians will meet you and say, "Oh, you're well put on weight." Not meaning to be insulting, meaning to be factual, but it can hurt somebody's feelings. Oh, what happened to you? Why your face looking so? You're sick of what? We're very blunt in certain ways in terms of the physical description of people that we feel we can communicate things to. Beyond, of course, the general peacock on the street that somebody who fat, you will have a nickname and call him Slim, and somebody who very skinny, you will call him Fats.
I think
you have all of those too.
The professional who was on the show yesterday said something that if you're making a joke and the person, everybody else but the person who is intended
is laughing,
well then, clearly you've crossed a line.
Yep.
And to me, those are things that we need to talk about and look at in terms of how we interact with each other,
Yeah. How we use, I agree. How we use language with each other, how we say how we communicate with each other. But it's a problem in terms of the civility of conversation across the country, and you could see it in the political sphere. There's a lack of civility. There's a lack of civility in discourse, and they set the tone.
That display in Parliament the other day with the reference to the highway and Princess Margaret, I think was the reference was made to. That to me, and if in my mind, if young people are tuning in and looking on at high office holders speaking in that kind of way, then to me, it's enabling them to, be inappropriate to each other at the school or wherever.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, caller.
Okay.
Have a good day. All right. As we wrap up this morning, Richie Rich, let's say a special happy birthday going out to Michael Cherry.
Oh, okay. Today's Michael's birthday.
Michael.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Have a great day.
Happy birthday to you.
And of course, let's say happy birthday going out to Shelly Das as well. I hope Mr. Brian Manning is planning a wonderful evening for you. So happy birthday to you, Shelly. All the best to you. Have a great day. This is where we wrap it up, Richie Rich, for this Thursday.
That's a birthday present than to bring your loved one to the theater. And of course, theater is on this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at Cipriani College. That's extravagant news. What happens in the dark comes to light. Trust me on that. And of course, it's hilarious. It's on this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday at 8:30 p.m., Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are $250 general, $300 reserved. And of course, tickets available at the Cipriani College box office, which opens 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. You can also get your tickets at K Squared Fashions, Eastgate, West Mall, Brentwood Mall in Chagonas, Jabili Rawe in Tunapuna, Electronics in Arima, and Tony's Florals in Valpark Shopping Plaza. The bling in Valpark Shopping Plaza because they're really it. And of course, Sharflair Auto Services in Sharflair. You can also purchase tickets online. Of course, check RSRR Productions Theatre, our theatre page on social media, Facebook, and follow us and like us and subscribe. All right. Let's grow our numbers. So have a fantastic day. Whatever you do, remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. Speak to you 5:30 tomorrow morning. The weekend begins tonight, people, at a second after midnight. We are on the weekend.
All right, Rich, start with you bright and early tomorrow morning. Of course, Wendell will also join us. All right, let's get into our 8 o'clock news brief, if you say.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
It is time for your news update to 8 o'clock. I'm Afril Sinchil Bab. Good morning. Tobago police. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has been inundated with reports of bullying following Jaden Lalchan's suicide. Head of the Police Southern Division, ACP Wayne Meister, said school children with similar experiences are coming forward to report similar incidents to the police. According to Meister, the unfortunate situation created an opportunity for people who were silently dealing with their own trauma to come forward. Meanwhile, ACP Meister said that the police are not on a witch hunt in the case involving the 15-year-old teen. He said a thorough investigation will be conducted into allegations of bullying at St. Stephen's College in Princestown, where Jaden was a student. He said if investigators conclude that someone drove the teenager to his death 2 Wednesdays ago, criminal charges will be laid. Meister revealed that the teenage boy being accused of bullying Jaden and his parents have also been contacted by officers of the Child Protection Unit. Police officers are said to be investigating reports that 9 gangs are operating within the Pleasantville Secondary School. Reports indicate that 2 newly formed gangs, the Camo and Gorva, are used or causing increased concern at the institution. According to media reports this morning, one parent said her son and his friend, who are in Form 1, were attacked in their classroom last Wednesday when they refused to join the Camo gang. She noted that last week Friday, a fight broke out between the gangs and students started pelting stones at each other, damaging a passing vehicle. And the Minister of Education, Dr. Nayan Gatsby-Dolly, says that there has been a staggering 467% increase in student expulsions over the past academic year. During her contribution to the 2025 budget debate, Gatsby-Dolly revealed that 17 students were expelled in the last academic year compared to just 3 the previous year. Additionally, 65 students received warning letters threatening expulsion. She warned parents that they will face consequences if they upset the balance government is striving to maintain in schools. Well, that was your update to 8 o'clock. Look out for news in full at 12 noon. I'm Avril Cynthia Bab. Good morning.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.